Hi, it's Sunday, November 17th, and we have a couple systems to talk about in the tropics today. We have Super Typhoon Manyi continuing to track westwards and will be making landfall in the Philippines later this afternoon, local time. And we've also got Cyclone Bheki, which may bring some impacts to Rodrigues, Mauritius, and La Reunion as we go throughout the next several days as it tracks southwest. So getting started briefly with Super Typhoon Manyi, there's not really much to talk about forecast-wise as this system is about to make landfall later this afternoon, but we can see an unfortunate sight that the system is continuing to stay as a strong super typhoon, even after some land interaction earlier in the morning, or sorry, in the nighttime hours last night. We had a landfall as a super typhoon in the central Philippines, and the system at that time was also undergoing an eyewall replacement cycle. Now, since then, we've likely seen this replacement cycle complete. We are seeing the eye begin to clear out even more, the eye temperature as well is also warming up again, an indication that that replacement cycle has ended, and we may be back on an intensification trend as the system gets very close to the coastline, and we'll be expecting landfall sometime this afternoon. You can see on this forecast from Pagasa, they're expecting it to be inland by about 5 p.m. this afternoon, and landfall is probably going to be around the 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. window here, and the expectation is that the system will likely remain a super typhoon as it does come in, and for that reason we have signal 4 and signal 5 warnings in place across a large region in the Philippines, and signal 3 warnings covering much of Luzon, as the system will not stop at the coast. Wind and heavy rainfall impacts will spread further inland, and we'll be dealing with the life-threatening impacts of the super typhoon for the next day as the system passes west. Now, the good news is that by Monday, the system will be moving away in the South China Sea and weakening. And right now, we're expecting the system to really struggle in the South China Sea due to stronger wind shear and also cooler seasurface temperatures, especially here along the southern coast of China. So no real significant threat to Vietnam, Hainan, or China from this system. But stay safe, of course, in the Philippines as this typhoon moves through. And like I said a few days ago, the good news is this is the last one in the batch of these typhoons we've had in the past week. You can finally get a break after this one, and we can finally reel from 4 typhoons we've been hit by in the past week. All right, we're going to move now to Cyclone Bheki in the southwestern Indian Ocean, the first cyclone of the cyclone season, which has begun, I believe, a couple of days ago on the 15th. You can see the system is presenting a very classic cyclone look with a donut shape with an eye that's opening up here in the center of the convection. And the system is right now the equivalent of likely a category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, making it an intense tropical cyclone, as well the first one of the season. Now, the good news is here for Rodrigues, Mauritius, and La Reunion, which you can see on this map here. There's Rodrigues. I believe that's Mauritius over there. The system is going to be weakening as it comes southwest, and you can see the reason of why it's going to likely start to weaken in the next day. We have some stronger wind shear beginning to encroach on the cyclone, with some of these convective bursts being pushed off towards the southwest. It's a little bit difficult to tell because we do also have some in a higher layer being pushed off towards the northwest from the outflow of the cyclone, but there is some flow here pushing off towards the south and west. And over the next day, this is going to increase in strength and is going to be putting more pressure on especially the northeastern side of the storm. And models are in agreement that this will eventually get to the storm, and we'll likely see weakening from this. You can see on the GFS the pressure fairly low right now because it is near peak intensity, but as it begins to make that southwestward turn, it's going to be slowing down, and that shear is going to pick up in intensity. And because that, we see the pressure value rise, and the system weakens considerably as it comes southwest. So we're not expecting a very strong cyclone to come through these islands, but we could still have a tropical storm coming in fairly close proximity to these islands. You can see on the forecast from Pepito, France, and I'll zoom in here so you can get a bit of a better view. Expecting a tropical storm to come up here, moderate tropical storm that is, north of Rodrigues, and then potentially a tropical depression moving by Mauritius and La Reunion. And the main impact here will be rainfall, as the system is not forecast to have very strong winds as it comes through, but that could lead to some localized flooding issues as the system does push through. But that's all that I've got for today. A very short video, but wanted to get updates out on both of these systems as they continue on their tracks. Again, stay safe in the Philippines as Manyi continues into Luzon, and thoughts are with everyone that are being impacted by these typhoons. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.